Right, welcome, viewing several, once again, to another edition of my little series that I like to call Hands Up, Who Loves a Train Set? Me. Now, I'm going to be looking at this today, which is a Hornby 002 rail set. Now, I looked at one of my 3-rail sets, which is the older system. Now, the 3-rail sets had that not so realistic looking track with the 3 rails and the tin plate base and the sort of lithographed the sleepers on the tin base. This was Hornby's first attempt at eventually they got round to doing a 2-rail system, but they were in a bit of a dilemma because they'd already had a huge customer base with the 3-rail stuff, so they sort of delayed, but then with the Triang and Playcraft stuff outselling them and being much cheaper, they took the plunge in 1959 and started producing a 2-rail system, and also produce some plastic bodied locomotives. The one that's in this box is an 060, which was only ever made for 2-rail, whereas most of them they did a 2-rail and a 3-rail version. It's also got plastic moulded bodies for the wagons, whereas the older stuff is kind of a lithographed tin plate construction. So this came in, as I say, in 1959, I think, but by then it was still quite expensive compared to the rivals, which obviously was Triang, and even cheaper when Playcraft came out. They produced some really cheap sets. So I'm going to have a look at a Playcraft set from that era, maybe next or the one after that. So I'm going to be looking at those as well, and it's like a real entry level set. Whereas this is still a really high quality set, and I think they were still quite expensive, and they kind of, in 1964 they ended up getting sold to Lines Brothers, who owned Triang, and they sort of took the Hornby name, and they are the Hornby that exists today. Whereas obviously this older Hornby, the original, was Meccano made, so made in Liverpool by Meccano Limited. But yeah, it lasted about 5 years, and they did kind of struggle both to reconcile it with their existing 3-rail customer base, but also, you know, to compete with much cheaper sets that were coming out. Anyway, these are lovely sets. There's still quite a lot of them available because it seems that well, maybe they were looked after well, or maybe they just, they are very good quality. So when I show it running, you'll see it still runs really well today. So this is at the earliest it will be 1959, and the latest 1964. So it's it's over 60 years old, and it runs very nicely, as you'll see. So let's have a look inside the box. Right, lovely looking set. It's presented very nicely. I think there's one insert missing here from this tray that would hold that in place a bit better, but not a major thing. So the first thing we notice is the new Hornby track that was Meccano made, Hornby that is. Their attempt at a 2-rail track, a more realistic track than the 3-rail tin plate. You can see there's a broken sleeper there. I've read reports about the plastic on this track being a bit brittle and it disintegrating, but I don't know. I think that it looks all right to me. I've filming this after I've run it, so I've already set it up, and I can tell you it works just fine. And it went together really nicely, even though it's very old. Absolutely no problems, and it fits on my desk here, as you'll see. So what a great start that was. So these wagons, I think they're rather nice. let's take a look. So nice brightly coloured plastic, nice heavy plastic moulding, and you've got these, I guess they're applied decals, plastic wheels. The thing about the 2-rail was that the older 3-rail ones would have just had metal. You've got to be careful, some of them have got shorting across because the 3-rail system's got the live one in the middle and the 2 outer ones are common. So although you can mix your rolling stock between 2 and 3 rail, you've got to make sure your wheels aren't going to short out your 2 rail. So there is that. Again, similar one. That's your kind of metal wagon. The other one, the wood plank wagon. And you've got this nice guards van. Is that a Toad? It looks like one. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on guards vans, but yeah. And you can see they are the couplings that Dublo had. They're actually quite nice. They're pretty good, but obviously when it was all merged into one company under Triang, they all went to using the tension lock couplings. So the Loco, it's decent weight. It's really well constructed. It's crude, but it's easy to service, and after all these years I've just given it a little clean up and I've remagnetised it because its top speed was a bit low, and it's running absolutely probably as good as it ever ran now. So really nice. So yeah, without further ado, let's get it on the tracks. Right, here we are on the track. I'm going to use the clipper. Today's beer is actually a non-alcoholic one, so can't always have alcohol. So we're on the 0% today. Right. So let's get this thing running. Oh, we'll go this way. Now these Locos are well renowned for being very noisy. And it is a bit noisy, but the track just about fits on my desk. So let's gradually increase the power. So with this particular Loco, I did open her up. I did a bit of a clean up. So got the muck off the commutator as always. Can't find the camera to show that. So yeah, so there's the tip. The cotton buds on the Q-tip. So quite a bit of fill got off the. And not only that, I decided to remagnetise it, which it runs a bit better now. So that's full speed on this particular controller. I'll turn it down. I'm just going to try the half wave setting, because that might be able to give me a. I'm not sure what that one does. So that's running quite slowly, if a little noisily. And that cut to that. And we'll just show the other direction. Yeah, it's a nice little runner, that. It's a lovely little set, I think. Like these plastic wagons are unusual for Dublo, because obviously the earlier Dublo stuff was all tin plate, but these sets were, moulded plastic. And you've got this track, of course, which apparently the points on these track were a bit difficult to use, and younger children didn't have a very good time with them, and they needed a bit of patience to get working reliably. But I don't have any points. Whether I get some, I don't know. With this kind of thing, what I tend to do, if I see a big bag of it for sale second hand at a show or something, for cheap, a few quid, I might pick it up or I might not. So at the moment I've just got, this is my only 002 rail set, and it's likely to stay that way for now. I have got the wagon that allows with one Hornby coupling and one Triang coupling, so you can couple up Triang wagons to this, or you can tow these Hornby wagons with your Triang Loco. So I've got a couple of them. They're quite useful because it means I can just add in some modern Hornby wagons if I wanted. But for now, this is just to show this set. So yeah, I like it. That's nice. I'm pretty pleased with how that's running now. I think they're nice little locomotives, these. I think we'll leave that there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.